Kate, looking at some of the numbers, they're pretty alarming numbers. At least 19 immigrants have died in ICE custody. That's just this year, 2026. And we've only just gone past half the year. And then last year, 31 immigrants died in ICE custody. Now, in one of the most recent of those killings that I mentioned a moment ago, ICE shot and killed 52-year-old Lorenzo Salgado Araujo. He was driving to a construction site. He had 3 other people with him. He was stopped by federal officers who were in an unmarked car. He ended up dead. How did this happen? What do you know about it?
It's a heartbreaking story. This is a man who's been in this country for 35 years. He's a business owner. He has a construction crew. He's raised 3 U.S. citizen sons, 2 of whom have already graduated from college. The other was in college. And by all reports, he was a very loving and rather quiet family man. And he was not the target of an ICE enforcement action. He was just driving to work with his crew. And of course, as soon as he was shot, ICE immediately put out news notice that he had been weaponizing his vehicle. And the video footage does not support that. And it's a tragedy. And it raises a lot of questions about why these ICE agents weren't wearing body cam, why ICE is still conducting traffic stops. We have seen so many times at this point that ICE agents are not properly trained or vetted on conducting traffic stops, which is a dangerous thing for a law enforcement officer to do. And when police officers are cadets and they're learning how to pull people over on the side of the road, they spend a lot of time learning how to do it safely, not to walk in the front of the vehicle, etc. And these are things that clearly ICE officers don't know how to do. We put these people in these positions without really vetting them. They often have dangerous backgrounds. They don't know what they're doing. They're clearly trigger happy, and people are dying on the streets, not to mention the fact that racial profiling is being conducted on a day in and day out basis. And as an immigration lawyer in Texas, I can tell you that every single day I get multitudes of phone calls from Latinos who have been pulled over in pretextual traffic stops and disappeared from their families. And as you mentioned, we have these ICE deaths because people are dying in detention centers where they're placed in for-profit prison centers with shareholders who are profiting on the detention of these people. It is an unacceptable system, and we all need to be speaking out about it.
Let's turn to the case of 26-year-old Johan Sebastian Duran Guerrero from Colombia. He was shot and killed in Bedford, Maine. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security says an officer opened fire after Guerrero, who was killed, they say, tried to use his vehicle as a weapon. We've heard this very often. You mentioned it earlier as well, that officers or the defense was that the vehicle was being used as a weapon. I mean, in this particular case, what happened here?
This is another tragedy. This is the father of a little girl, a 3-year-old girl who has no criminal history, was shot and pulled out of the vehicle. I mean, some of that footage is really, really painful to watch as they pull his lifeless body out of the vehicle and cuff him. And then it comes out that the officer who shot and killed him pretty quickly, according to his ex-wife, called his ex-wife and said, "I'm going to have people looking at me and I need you to lie about my character." And she said, "I'm not going to do it." And she shared video or voicemails that he had left threatening to kill her and her family. He's very clearly a disturbed and violent man. And our ICE agents, our agency, handed him a weapon and put him out on the street and allowed him to shoot and kill this young father for no reason. And again, we don't have body cam footage. It's just heartbreaking. And what I don't understand is why the agency immediately says, you know, we're going to stop doing traffic stops for ICE agents on the road. And then Trump immediately speaks out against it and said, this is one of our most important weapons as an agency to do these traffic stops. And they start up again. ICE is definitely out patrolling the streets. I mean, I personally received footage of ICE agents pepper spraying a 6-year-old girl and a pregnant mother here in Austin, where I live. And another video I received was a ring cam video of a father shielding his 4-year-old girl, trying to knock on the door so he could hand her to family members while this ICE agent is coming up from behind him and pulling his neck. I mean, these are brutal, brutal actions against people, we have to remember, who don't have a criminal history. And as much as Jaden wants to tell us, oh, there's consequences, like what? Being killed killed in the street, the majority of people who are being apprehended by ICE, more than 70%, have no criminal history whatsoever. These are people who are living and working in the United States, and they deserve human rights, and they deserve due process, and they absolutely do not deserve to be shot on the streets in cold blood without any video footage whatsoever.
The people, the immigrants that we are talking about, and many of whom you represent in court, what kinds of protections, legal protections, do they have? We know that in many instances, for instance, people seeking asylum, that's being made more and more difficult. What about other legal protections? Are those being eroded as well?
Thank you. You read my mind, because I want to go back to what Jaden said, okay, maybe people don't deserve to die, but they still violated immigration laws, and so therefore they do deserve to be detained. No, the Trump administration has attacked immigrants in all levels of the legal process, starting with birthright citizenship, starting with going after people who have green cards or who are on student visas, or canceling tourist visas from 39 countries, from 70 countries, from people coming over for the World Cup, to dreamers, to going after people who are showing up for the immigration court case, or who entered on parole and applied for asylum, or TPS holders from all sorts of nations, or people who are going to their ICE check-ins, or have a green card application pending and a valid work permit, and they're getting detained at the airport in front of their families. The Trump administration is not going after not only not the worst of the worst and criminals, they're going after legal immigration, and people in all levels of this process, which is a very complex process. The people who are following the rules every single day are being targeted by this administration, and it is not about people who violate the law or who don't follow the law. On the contrary, the people that I represent are doing everything within their power to follow every law put before them, and still they get taken from their families daily.